Do you guys remember Faith from Vanderpump Rules? She popped up in about season 5 and she stayed through season 6. She's the woman who had the affair with Jax. But here's the thing, she's not the only one who had an affair with Jax, right? Jax was cheating on Brittany left and right since the beginning of the relationship, and it started out with Lala Kent. And then when that came out, everybody went rabid on her, and it was really, really, really ugly to see. Okay, like it was ugly. She was treated in a way that no one had ever been treated on that show, and she's suing them for it, as she should. So she's not suing the stars individually, but she is suing the network. And you know what? Who else had an affair with Jax, actually? And this was pre-Brittany, but when he was dating Stassi, it was Kristen, Stassi's own best friend. So the fact that even Kristen, who went behind her best friend's back to bang her boyfriend of several years, was not treated like this, like, it's just so shocking to me, but I digress. I don't know if I told you guys, but I'm on a rewatch. I've been re-binging Pump Rules, and it's so like, wow, like in hindsight. I'm currently on season 5 right now, as Lala is trying to lie and like make up all these stories about that married man that she is dating. And it's honestly crazy. She's actually about to walk away from the restaurant and the show for a little while to hide this relationship. But anyway, let's get back to Faith, y'all. We got to talk about Faith. First of all, I got to ask y'all, what kind of audience do I have here? Do you support her in her lawsuit against the networks? So she is not only suing Bravo, she is also suing NBC. Okay. And the producers of the show, Evolution Media, as well. So she's claiming that she experienced discrimination while filming the show. She was apparently asked to join the show by Lisa Vanderpump, who said that the show cast needed some more color. And according to her lawyers in the lawsuit, Faith was subjected to racism, sexual harassment, and physical assault in her first season. Quote, over time, her treatment got even worse. Many cast members embarked on an overtly racist social media harassment campaign, accusing her of having gone AWOL from the military, which is false, of being a thief, also false, and being a career criminal wanted by the LAPD, also false. And then she accused her co-stars Stassi and Kristen of calling the police on her for a crime she did not commit. Stassi and Kristen, you guys, in case you forgot, but they were actually fired over their behavior towards Faith. And to me, the fact that she did this, you know, that Stassi and Kristen did this, like, Jax wasn't even your boyfriend. And they knew that Jax was a terrible person. At this point, Stassi has already filmed a podcast in which she accuses Jax of being a sociopath. She says he's a terrible person, you know, a lifelong cheat. Like, so why behave this way? To me, it felt like they just are racist girls who were looking for an opportunity to unleash and be disgusting to a Black woman. And listen, Stassi already, at this point, I believe, she had already done this Instagram post where she was talking about, like, you know, her and her friends, they did a mirror selfie. And so one of them, she said they were Tupac chic or criminal chic, that she said she was Nazi chic. Like, so like, it was already apparent that the girl was a little bit off when it came to race, right? And then she had some comments about Oscar so white. So she had already built up a history of kind of like a low-key dog whistling to us that she has some kind of like a racial problem. So when she started doing this sort of thing, Bravo said, all right, that's enough. Like, you're out of here. Kristen was out of here. I just don't understand why they went through these lengths. Kristen, you too. You knew Jax was a cheat because you helped him cheat. And you're a cheat too. You cheated on Tom Sandoval throughout your entire relationship. Like, their behavior here made no sense at all, right? It was a lot, okay? Shem Gems, no, I do not. Actually, I tried to play like one of those Netflix games that they have on the app. I did like the Love is Blind game. So for those of you, because someone was asking me earlier about language learning, another way, if you're into gaming and stuff, to get into language learning is to play a game, but in a different language. So I was trying to play the Love is Blind Netflix app game in Spanish at the time, but I'm just not a gamer. So Faith is also saying, quote, I was also attacked by a cast member brandishing a knife to my neck while threatening to, quote, cut a biatch. I was terrified that I would be stabbed, sliced or disfigured, and was left deeply shaken by the incident, which was captured on camera and later covered up. So that was in reference to Lala. Apparently, Tupac Lala did that to Faith. Like, they did some very, very ugly things to this woman that they had never done to anybody. And this is a cast full of cheaters. The only thing that makes Faith different from everybody in this photo is that she is Black. Tom Schwartz cheated on Katie throughout that entire relationship. No one did anything like this to him. Jax cheated on everybody throughout every relationship. Nobody did anything like this, right? Sheena was sleeping with married, famous, edgy, pretending she didn't know he was married. No one did anything like this. Kristen, your own best friend's man. No one did anything like this, right? Tom Sandoval, even years later, yeah, they accosted him and whatnot, but no one did anything like this. Lala, you were out here sleeping with a man with a wife and children at home. No one did anything like this to you. So I do think that Faith is potentially going to win this lawsuit. And Bravo, NBC, and Evolution Media, they are scared right now, and they're asking for this to be heard privately because this information is extremely damaging to them. And Faith is saying, nope, y'all did this to me in public, so this lawsuit is going to stay public. Another little known thing about this era is that Brittany also did something to her. So we know that everybody got fired for their actions towards Faith, with the exception of Lala and the knife. And then another person who got away was Brittany. So apparently Brittany called Faith nappy. Yeah, she said something, she called her racial slurs, and then she said something about her, quote, nappy hair. And, she managed to get away from this unscathed. Honestly, all of this is very, very disturbing. Faith said that she had gone to the producers and to NBC at the time and, quote, expressed her intention to involve law enforcement, and they told her not to. They said that it would have severe repercussions for her if she were to go and involve law enforcement. So basically, they threatened her job, and then they allegedly retaliated by not paying her anymore. You guys, like, wow. She says that Lisa Vanderpump herself also got involved and warned her that I would be terminated if I could not find a way to get along with Lala, my attacker. Out of concern for my job security, I held my tongue and refrained from reporting the incident to law enforcement or disclosing it to the media. And then, of course, she talks about being demoted from a cast member who was being paid to a volunteer and locked into her contract as well. So notwithstanding, VPR producers and NBC declined to exercise my option, instead forcing me to sign a new contract stating that I would henceforth be a volunteer. I was relegated to this volunteer status for my final 2 seasons on the show. I received no compensation despite being treated like an employee under VPR producers and NBC's complete direction and control, and remaining a central part of the plot. And it is true, she was a central part of the plot, right? A lot of people were talking about her and this whole thing for a long, long time. Julie said, recaps of what? Sorry, I'm a little bit of a bird brain sometimes. Did I mention another show? Please let me know. Jax is an awful person that used to be attractive and masculine. He is skating on his look. Stassi and Kristen had a full campaign of racism towards Faith. They were committed to the racism. And this was they could have gotten Faith deleted with their actions. They kept on calling the police. Imagine what could have potentially happened to Faith. We know that the police, unfortunately, are rather hostile to Black people in the US, right? And sometimes very innocent interactions, or what are supposed to be interactions with them, end up in, for some people, right? I'll never forget the way there was this little boy, and you know how kids play with toy guns and stuff? There's this little Black boy, I forgot his name. Was it Ramir Rice or something like that? He was just in his yard playing with a little toy gun. And then a cop pulls up in a car, jumps, barely even puts it in park, and shoots down this child. And it was just insane, So you're in this kind of a climate, right? And you're in a climate where they are strangling people. They're doing all sorts of things like this to people. And you are repeatedly calling someone to go after this woman. You're calling her former employment in military, all sorts of things. Those are such ugly, evil, despicable, actions from, ugly, vile, despicable, evil women. I know they've tried to rebrand these girls with the Valley and whatnot, but I will never be able to get into them. They are just yuck to me, absolutely disgusting and vile. Ugh. It's scary to me that people like that are having children, but I digress. Listen, I've got some more Teen Mom news. I know yesterday I said, wow, we are 2 for 2, but y'all, it looks like we are 3 for 3 now with the Teen Mom stories. So let me just wrap up some of you guys' comments here because you guys had a lot to say about this story. And then we're going to get into Caitlin and Tyler from Teen Mom because I got a lot of questions for y'all. Accountants, stick around. Real estate agents, stick around. Mortgage brokers, agents, stick around, okay? People who own homes, stick around. People who are looking to own homes, stick around because we got a lot to talk about when it comes to that. And I'm here for it all. I agree, like it's very, very weird. And unfortunately, that's a very popular, trope, right? And Boss Lady, I agree. I haven't really been able to really like Lisa Vanderpump after all of this, just based off the way that she behaved. And I hate that all of these people were able to find their way back onto our television screens. All of those firings were 100% performative at the end of the day. And thank you so much, Karma and everybody else. His name was Tamir Rice. That story is just absolutely horrific.